Good morning, folks. I'm Dan. Little gun project today. I've got an 1187 here that's got some issues. This gun's been hunted pretty hard. It's used as a chucker gun primarily. Nice gun, Remington 1187. At some point in time, there was apparently some damage to the forend because the forend's been replaced on it. The problem was this forend was never fitted, and apparently it was not cut very well from Remington. It's a factory Remington forend. It is the proper forend. It's an 1187 forend. I can tell from the steel liner in it. But it only goes on about so far, and when it's all assembled, literally to get the forend off, you have to tap the back end of it to get it driven. And I've already had it apart, got it apart and looked at it. So what the main problem is there's not enough clearance between the hole for the magazine tube to go through and the clearance cut on top. We've got too much material in here, so we're going to relieve the top. I think is the best way to do it. It looks like we've got a good fit on the tube itself through here, but we'll relieve this and get it to set down on there. So that's a quick and easy, the easy portion of it. From there, we'll go back. This gun does not want to function, so there's a few issues I see with it that nothing major and a good service won't take care of, but we'll take you through that so you know the complete disassembly and reassembly of the Remington 1187, and hopefully I can give you a couple little tips on how to keep your 1187s running. So first we're just going to relieve this portion of the forend in here until we get a good fit. I think that'll give you a pretty good view of it. Oh yeah, that one will fit. We'll just get rid of all this finish in here. And we're going to want to take this down quite a bit. Scraper in here and see if that'll relieve us a little bit better. The idea is to be able to hold it firm enough in your vise, yet you don't want to crush it, because this is a fairly fragile piece when you get to hold on to it with a vise. Once you get that finish off of there, be careful and not roll over onto the top of your forend when you're removing that finish. If this was for a customer, they would not be happy if there's a big gouge across the top of their forend. You could tape that off to protect it if you're so inclined. I tend to not normally do that just because it gives you a little feeling of you're not going to be able to damage it, and if you still jump over the top that way, you can still take that finish off. And from here it just becomes a shave a little bit, do a trial fit until you get it down on there. Depending on how this goes together, we may put a little layout bluing on the barrel itself, just to show where we've got contact. We've still got a ways to go on this one. So it's just shave a little bit and then refit it. I can see I've got markings here on the end already. time, these gun line tools will wear out. The edges will lose their cutting edge, so you periodically have to replace them. This one's actually getting a little bit dull. A whole lot better than it was, still a little tight. Okay, I'm going to lightly sand the inside of that, because once I build a little more finish back on, why that will build up tolerances just a little bit. So that would be an acceptable fit right there. But I think I'd like to take out just a little bit more. There again, when you sand these out, you don't want to roll it up over the edge of the top of the forend. And all I'm doing is giving us a nice smooth finish along here. What would have happened if this had not been relieved and fitted up properly is over time it would have pounded. You would have had to pound it off and on and done that enough times to where eventually you would have cracked out the forend again or damaged it in some manner. So this way it's a properly fitted forend, which, like I say, I suspect that this was a little bit out of tolerance from Remington. I see a couple little places here where it doesn't look like the inletting was quite the quality that it should be. And we're seeing more and more of that from all the gun manufacturers. Remington's not producing the quality that they've produced in the past, or the guns that they've produced in the past, and the sportsmen are suffering from it. So there we've got a nice smooth fit and finish. It will easily go on and off of that forend. That's the way it's supposed to fit. I'm much happier with that. And we'll call that We're going to call that a repair. It's not so much a repair, it's just a fitting of something that should have been interchangeable from the factory. And then to seal that, we'll just use a little bit of True Oil and get a coat of True Oil on there to seal that surface, and it'll be ready to go for years to come now. If you're so inclined, you can put a couple of coats of finish on there. That actually is an acceptable amount right there, and you won't really even be able to see that when the gun's assembled, and I'm really happy with that. Anytime you're doing any stock work, anything where you're removing finish, removing wood, you want to be sure and go back and reseal it again with I use True Oil. You know, any of the good stock finishes, True Oil's a really versatile finish that'll work well. So now that part of this repair is done. We still have to disassemble this and clean and service this gun. If you're interested in that, why, stay tuned. We'll do that in part 2. We'll end this right here, and that's the way you fit up a Forend onto a Remington. Any comments, suggestions, or things you've got for me, leave them in the comments section below. If you find this helpful, hit that subscribe button, give me a thumbs up, and if you hit the bell notification, you'll know when I put out a new video. And thanks for taking the time to watch.